With Yao Guang's rerun arriving in version 4.3, it's the perfect time to revisit one of the most important characters in the Elation meta. So in this video, we are going to answer a simple question. Should you pull Yao Guang or should you skip her? We'll take a look at how she's aged since her original release around 3 patches ago, how important she is in the current meta, and whether she still deserves a spot on your account. After that, we will go over her vertical investment options, including E1, E2, and her signature light cone. Before we begin, please hit the like and subscribe button. Now if you have done that, let's get this video started. Now let's talk about Yao Guang herself. When she first released, her reception was honestly a bit mixed. Outside of her ability to instantly trigger AHA instance with her ultimate, a lot of players were not convinced that the rest of her kit was anything special. At the time, nobody really knew how strong Elation teams would become. So many players were debating whether she was worth pulling immediately or if it was better to wait for a rerun and see how the meta developed. But that uncertainty did not last very long. As more information came out and more Elation characters were released, it quickly became clear that Yao Guang was not the character getting replaced. Instead, she ended up becoming the character every Elation team wanted. There was a period where people thought Sparxy would mainly support Silver Wolf, while Yao Guang would be more important for Venetia. But once players actually tested the teams, the results spoke for themselves. Yao Guang ended up being the bigger upgrade for both of them. The extra Elation damage she provides is already valuable because Elation damage has very limited way to scale. Simply having another Elation character on the team also increases AHA speed, which means more AHA turns and more Elation skill activations. Her ultimate gives the entire team 20% rest span, which has always been strong. Her Elation skill applies 16% vulnerability, increasing damage taken by enemies. Those are all solid buffs. But the real reason she's so valuable has always been her ultimate. When Yao Guang uses her ultimate, she immediately grants AHA an extra turn with a fixed 20 punchline. That instantly triggers another AHA instance, allowing every Elation character on the team to fire off their Elation skills. Yao Guang gets hers, Sparxy gets hers, Silver Wolf gets hers, Elation MC gets theirs as well. The order depends on participant IDs, but the important thing is that everyone gets another activation. At first glance, that might not sound game-changing, but it turned out to be one of the biggest damage increase available for Elation teams. Back during her release, it was difficult to fully appreciate because she arrived in the first half of version 4.0. There simply were not enough Elation characters available to build a proper team around her. Then Sparxy released. Suddenly you had a real team. Yao Guang, Sparxy, Sparkle, and a Sustain. Later, Silver Wolf SP arrived, allowing players to run Yao Guang, Sparxy, and Super Wolf together. And once players started testing those teams extensively, it became obvious that Yao Guang was actually the most important piece. Originally, many people expected Sparxy to be the bigger priority, but performance data consistently showed that Yao Guang provided a larger overall increase. Then Venetia released, and the exact same thing happened again. Yao Guang remained one of Venetia's best teammates because Venetia benefits heavily from certified banger generation, which Yao Guang helped provide. So what started as a shaky release eventually turned into something very different. Today, if you're playing Elation DPS characters, Yao Guang is arguably the single most important Elation character in the game. Whether you are using Sparxy, Super Wolf, or Venetia, Yao Guang is a part of every one of their base teams. And that's exactly why players who missed her the first time should seriously consider this rerun. Now let's talk about vertical investment. Starting with E1, her E1 increases the amount of punchline counted during the extra AHA action created by her ultimate. Instead of using 20 punchline, it now counts as 40. That alone is already a huge damage increase. More punchline means more damage, and the higher your punchline count gets, the more valuable every additional stack becomes. On top of that, all Elation damage dealt by allies ignore 20% of enemy defense. Defense ignore is one of the strongest damage multipliers in the game, and it becomes even stronger when combined with other resources. For Sparxy teams, E1 was already extremely valuable, then Super Wolf released, and suddenly E1 became even better. Super Wolf needs punchline generation to quickly enter her transform state. With Yao Guang E1, if Yao Guang acts first and immediately uses her ultimate, Super Wolf can reach her ultimate transformation much faster, sometimes before she even takes her first turn. That's a massive boost to early battle momentum. Then Venetia released, and once again E1 gained even more value. The extra certified banger generation translates into additional energy for Venetia, helping her cycle ultimates faster and maintain stronger rotations. So E1 went from being a strong damage increase to becoming one of Yao Guang's most impactful upgrades overall. Now let's talk about E2. Her E2 gives the team 12% speed and 16% additional elation. Honestly, it's pretty underwhelming. Yeah, of course, the speed helps characters like Super Wolf. Yes, it helps Yao Guang reach speed breakpoints. And yes, more speed also converts into more elation for some characters. But compared to the amount of pulls required, the payoff simply is not impressive. For the second Eidolon, the value just is not there. Now let's move on to her signature light cone. Her signature gives 18% speed, grants great fortune at the start of the battle or after using an ultimate, increases team crit rate by 10%, crit damage by 30%, and increases Yao Guang's energy regen by 12%, and restores 15 fixed energy at the start of every wave. This light cone does a lot. The speed helps tremendously because Yao Guang wants as much speed as possible, the crit buffs are excellent for the entire team, and have very high uptime, but the biggest feature is the energy. Without her signature, Yao Guang cannot immediately ultimate on turn 1, even with energy regen setups, unless she gets external energy support or takes damage. With her signature, that problem disappears completely. The 15 fixed energy allows immediate one-turn ultimate setups, which dramatically improves your opening rotation. The energy passive only activates once per wave, so it's not game-breaking throughout the entire battle, but for the opening turn, it's incredibly valuable. So overall, her signature provides everything Yao Guang wants: speed, crit supports, energy regen, and smoother rotations. Now let's go to the most important question: should you summon for Yao Guang? At this point, the answer is actually very simple. If you own Silver Wolf, Evanesia, Sparksy, or plan to pull any of them in the future, then Yao Guang is basically mandatory. Can those characters clear content without her? Right now, yes, but as content gets harder, Yao Guang is what allows them to continue performing at the highest level possible. Every one of their best teams include her. She is simply their best teammate. So if you are investing into the Elation archetype, Yao Guang is non-negotiable. On the other hand, if you are completely skipping Elation teams, then you can safely skip her. If you don't own Sparksy, don't own Evanesia, and don't use Super Wolf, and don't plan to pull any future Elation DPS characters, then Yao Guang won't provide much value to your account. Outside of Elation teams, she is not part of any best-in-slot composition. It's really that straightforward. Now finally, let's talk about investment priority. If you are planning to invest into Yao Guang, the order is very simple: get E1 first, S1 second, and then E2 last. E1 provides the biggest overall damage increase thanks to the additional punchline and 20% defense ignore. It also enables faster Super Wolf transformations and provides more certified banger generation for Evanesia. After E1, go for the signature light cone. It makes Yao Guang easier to build, provides team-wide crit buffs, improves her energy regen, and unlocks one-turn ultimate setups. Then comes E2, and honestly, E2 is something I only recommend if you are already heavily invested into the rest of the team. The speed and elation bonuses simply are not impactful enough to justify prioritizing it over stronger upgrades on your DPS characters. So if you are wondering where to stop, E1 and S1 is the sweet spot. That's where Yao Guang delivers the most value for your pools. And that's everything you need to know before deciding whether or not to summon for Yao Guang in version 4.3. I hope this video helps, and if you found this video helpful and enjoy it, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on notification as well so you won't be missing out on any of my style content. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye bye!